I blew up the baby.
You're off the project.
In a small town in Nevada, two residents who are jogging on the road look surprised to see the automated mailbox in front of a house where an inventor named Wayne and his family live. They also watch as the family's dog comes outside to fetch the mail before heading back inside. There, Wayne's wife, Diane, prepares a meal and calls on the kids, Amy and Nick, to come downstairs to eat. She also calls Wayne to ask about their little baby, Adam. Wayne says that Adam is in his playpen, but Diane sounds worried that their son escaped from it earlier. Wayne says he has already fixed it, but Diane still doesn't sound sure about this. Wayne then goes to check on Adam to see how he could possibly escape from the playpen. Meanwhile, Amy tells Diane that she doesn't have to follow her to college. Diane says she only wants to help her daughter settle in. Well, but Amy mentions that she doesn't want that because it will be embarrassing to arrive at college with her mom. Diane then insists that she has made up her mind about following Amy.
I never said you were stupid.
Following this, Nick asks Diane if she'd think he was a nerd if she was just a random girl. Amy jokes that he's asking a rhetorical question, but Diane asks Nick if she's any girl in particular. Nick says it's just a girl he might ask to go to the movies with him, and Diane mentions that he's turning into a very handsome young man. She adds that he's going to be just like his dad. Almost immediately, Wayne shows up and calls Diane to help him fix something on his helmet. After she does this, she tells Wayne that if he and Nick want to go out alone while she's away with Amy, he can just call the babysitter's number. As Nick heads to his room, he sees Adam with his guitar and looks shocked. Before he angrily snatches it away from the baby, Diane stops him and mentions that she'll handle it. She then tells Adam that he's not supposed to play with Nick's guitar, and he says that he's sorry. After she carries him away, Wayne wonders how Adam keeps getting out of the playpen, but Diane says that it's probably time to forget about it entirely. Wayne looks disappointed and asks if Diane doesn't think he can fix the playpen.
Mama.
Diane says she didn't mean that, but before Wayne responds, Amy tells them that her taxi is around. Following this, they all head out, and as Diane packs her things with Amy, Wayne says he hopes they tire Adam out at the daycare so that when he returns, he'll just take a late nap. Adam seems pissed as he hears this, and Diane tells Wayne not to say the word nap around him. She also reminds Wayne that Adam's lunch is in the freezer, and the babysitter's number is on the refrigerator. As she asks if she's forgetting anything, Wayne wonders if she thinks he can't handle things at the house while she's gone. Diane says she's sure he can, and she heads toward the taxi. Amy then says goodbye to Wayne and mentions that she's sure Diane will come back home immediately. She realizes that there's nothing to do at the college. As she then heads to the taxi, Diane reminds Wayne not to forget to drop Nick and Adam off on his way to work. Just then, Wayne remembers that he has a big test at his workplace.
Break it up, guys.
Following this, he drops Nick off at work and takes Adam to the daycare before heading to his office at a company called Sterling Laboratories. As he gets there, Wayne quickly runs inside so that he'll have enough time to demonstrate what his shrink ray machine can do. Before Wayne reaches the lab, his colleague, Dr. Hendrickson, tells his assistants to power up the shrink ray machine in Wayne's absence. One of the assistants asks if they should just wait for Wayne, but Hendrickson says they can no longer wait for him. He adds that missing the demonstration will teach Wayne the importance of arriving to work on time. As Wayne keeps running to the lab, the demonstration begins, but instead of the machine to enlarge the targeted object, it gets destabilized before shrinking and splashing on Hendrickson's face. Hendrickson seems pissed by this, and almost immediately, Wayne enters the lab.
Access denied?
As he then talks about why he's late, Wayne sees the dirt on Hendrickson's face and asks what happened to him. Hendrickson gets pissed and storms out of the lab while saying that he's tired of the results they keep getting from Wayne's experiments. One of his assistants then mentions that even though they've had some success replicating Wayne's experiments on shrinking matter, they haven't been able to figure out how to reverse the process and enlarge matter. Hendrickson then stops and says that the owner of the lab, Clifford Sterling, demands results. He also mentions that as the project's director, he would like to deliver results. Wayne then tries to tell Hendrickson about a potential solution he worked on that might make his machine capable of enlarging matter. Hendrickson immediately interrupts him and mentions that when Wayne licensed his device to Sterling Labs, he was promised that the finest minds in the country would work on it, and that's exactly what they're doing. Wayne still tries to talk about his solution, but Hendrickson dismisses him and slams a door on him. Wayne looks disappointed by this, but he doesn't say anything.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
Elsewhere, at Nick's workplace, he sees a girl named Mandy and seems attracted to her. After a while, he sees her leaving with her friends and decides to approach her so he can ask her out. As he stands in front of her, she remembers him from school and calls him Rick, but Nick corrects her. Before he says what he wants, Wayne arrives with his weird van, and Mandy's friends make fun of him. Nick looks disappointed by this, but he eventually walks away to enter his dad's van. As he seems pissed, Wayne asks if there's a problem, but Nick says it's nothing. Shortly after, they get home, and Diane calls Wayne to inform him that she and Amy have gotten to their destination. As she asks about dinner, Wayne says it's all good, but he actually appears to be struggling to make a decent meal.
Yes, would you connect me with Dr. Hendrickson, please?
Adam also sneaks out of the house, but Wayne quickly brings him back inside. Later that night, Wayne gets the kids to eat a sandwich for dinner. Nick eventually gets pissed as Adam points his sandwich at him, and he heads to his room. After a while, Wayne takes Adam to his bed and plays with him using a bunny toy. He also tells him that they need to be nicer to Nick because he's not happy about moving to a new town and having to make new friends. As he then sings a lullaby, Adam falls asleep and Wayne gets an idea for his machine when he sees a balloon in the room. Back at Sterling Labs, a board member named Terrence tells Hendrickson that it will be a big achievement for him if he can get the shrink ray machine to work well. He adds that over the years, he has seen Sterling attach himself to one crazy idea after another, and the board of directors are even worried.
No, you did the right thing letting me know. Thank you.
Just then, Hendrickson gets a call from Wayne, who says that he already knows how to solve the problem with the machine. Hendrickson seems pissed and places the call on hold as he tells Terrence that he doesn't know why Sterling hasn't kicked Wayne off the project. He adds that if he was working on the machine alone, he would have already solved the problem. Terrence says that there are people on the board who agree with what Hendrickson just said. He mentions that they believe Sterling has outlived his usefulness to the corporation and its stakeholders. He adds that Hendrickson can become Sterling's successor if he's the one who manages to make the shrink ray machine work. Hendrickson looks happy about this, and as Wayne keeps talking about his new solution, the project director just tells him to have a nice weekend. After the call ends, Wayne looks disappointed and realizes that Hendrickson doesn't want his help.
Yeah, sure.
The next day, Nick calls Mandy's house to talk to her, but just as the call goes through, Adam disconnects the phone cord. Nick looks pissed by this, but before he can do anything to his baby brother, Wayne shows up and carries Adam. Shortly after, Wayne takes the kids to the lab, but the security guard, Smitty, looks surprised to see him. Smitty asks if he's supposed to work that day, but Wayne says he just needs to tidy up a few things. As Wayne and his kids walk to the lab, Smitty calls Hendrickson to report what just happened. Meanwhile, Wayne and the kids get to the lab, and Nick looks amazed by how big it is. Wayne then tells Nick to help him check one of the computers for the intensity of the shrink ray. Unfortunately, Nick sees that Wayne no longer has access to the files, and he looks shocked. Wayne then mentions that they'll have to find another way to lower the shrink ray's intensity.
How about Twinkle Twinkle?
Nick suggests using a broken glass, and Wayne likes this idea. After he places a broken glass on the machine's laser drive, he takes Adam's bunny and uses it as the target for the experiment. Nick then puts on a pair of dark glasses for Adam, but he immediately takes them off. As Nick and Wayne then start up the machine to direct a laser at the bunny, Adam gets out of his seat and walks toward his toy. Nick and Wayne are unaware of this, and they unknowingly blast Adam and the bunny with the laser. director. Luckily, nothing happens to Adam, and he quickly moves away before Nick and Wayne see him. Unfortunately, the shrink ray happens to have caused a power surge, and as Wayne takes a look at the bunny, he sees that it didn't get enlarged. He looks disappointed by this and heads out of the lab with the kids. Before they leave the building, Smitty tells Wayne that Hendrickson just said that he no longer has access to use the equipment in the lab without permission. Wayne says he already knows, and Smitty apologizes for calling Hendrickson to report him.
Hey, can I borrow this, pal?
On the way home, Nick asks Wayne why he needs permission to use a machine he invented. Wayne says that he now works on a team with some talented people, but Nick still doesn't understand why he has to seek permission for a machine he invented. He adds that Wayne was the one who had the idea for the shrink ray and not his team members. Wayne understands that Nick is right, but he remains silent because he doesn't think his situation might change at Sterling Labs. When they get home, Wayne senses that Nick is disappointed about what happened at the lab. He then tells Adam that he'll have to call a babysitter for him so he can spend some time with Nick. After Wayne takes Adam into the house, he finds the babysitter's number and calls her. Surprisingly, it turns out that the babysitter is Mandy, and she agrees to come to the house to watch Adam. Just then, Wayne puts some food into the microwave, but Adam says he wants to go to a restaurant instead.
I'll be right back.
Wayne says he'll have to manage the food at home, and he walks away to ask Nick if he would like to go to the movies. Nick says he's interested, and Wayne suggests checking the available showtimes at the cinema before the babysitter arrives. Meanwhile, the microwave suddenly starts emitting strong electromagnetic waves, which get absorbed into Adam's body. Suddenly, Adam grows to a height of 7 feet, and the dog runs away from him. Wayne and Nick are shocked by the way the dog ran into the living room, so they head to the kitchen to see what happened. As they see Adam, they quickly return to the living room to hide. They then realize that Adam must have left his seat when the laser from the shrink ray was directed at the bunny. Wayne cannot believe this, and as Adam walks to the living room, Nick tells his brother not to worry about his size because he's sure that their dad will fix him. Wayne says they'll have to go back to the lab to analyze the data and reverse the process. Nick doesn't think it will be easy to get Adam past Smitty, so Wayne drives to a nearby store to buy some clothes for Adam.
Boo!
After they wear the big clothes for him, they sneakily head into the lab, and even though Smitty looks confused, Wayne says he forgot something. As they get to the lab, they see Hendrickson and his assistants already there, so Nick quickly takes Adam away. Hendrickson sees the big figure and wonders what it is, but Wayne quickly changes the topic and says that he wants to analyze the machine's data. Hendrickson then blames him for the power surge and says that it has caused the entire system to shut down. As Hendrickson sees Adam again through the glass on the door, he looks confused, but Wayne mentions that he brought his wife's uncle, who has a big head, to the lab. Hendrickson scolds him for this, but Wayne still asks when the backups will be restored. Hendrickson says it's no longer Wayne's business because he's now off the project. Wayne says that Hendrickson doesn't have the power to make such a decision, but the project director says he can do whatever he wants. He adds that Sterling would support his decision because he knows how much the damage will cost.
Did he say bathroom?
Wayne cannot believe this, but Hendrickson threatens to have him escorted out by security. Wayne looks disappointed by this, but he agrees to leave. Hendrickson then goes to meet his assistants to start the restoration process from when the system crashed because he wants to know what Wayne was really up to. On the way home, Nick asks why his dad didn't just tell Hendrickson that he already solved the problem, but Wayne says that the project director will turn Adam into a specimen to be experimented on. Nick then asks what they'll do about Adam, and Wayne says that they just need to fix the problem before Diane returns home. Interestingly, as they get home, they meet Diane outside holding Adam's enlarged bunny toy and asking where it came from. Wayne immediately freaks out and drives away from the house because he doesn't want her to see Adam. Nick then suggests driving straight to Mexico, but Wayne says it's better to just head back home to tell Diane the truth.
What about Adam?
As they get there, Wayne quickly gets out of the van and takes Diane inside the house to tell her the truth. Diane doesn't get this, and she also notices that Wayne seems scared of telling her what happened. Diane then tells him not to be scared, but before Wayne says anything, Adam enters the house. Diane faints as she sees him, and Wayne quickly helps her. As Wayne tries to revive her, Nick complains that Adam is scattering the house. Wayne tells him to handle the situation, and Nick then tries to get Adam to go to his room. Suddenly, Diane wakes up and attacks Wayne for enlarging their baby. Nick then comes down to tell his parents that he has already locked Adam in his room. As Wayne asks if he locked the door well, Nick says he did. Almost immediately, Adam comes downstairs with the door, and his parents look shocked. They then try to get him to sit down, but Adam just keeps moving around the house.
Don't throw things at Nick.
He also carries Wayne, but eventually drops him before he continues scattering the house. Some of the neighbors hear loud noises from inside, and as they stand in front of the house, Wayne quickly closes the window blinds so that they won't see Adam. Someone eventually rings the doorbell, and Diane goes to check who it is. It then turns out to be two nosy neighbors who ask what's going on inside. Diane says it's nothing and that they're just having fun inside. She then goes back into the house, and Wayne creates a playpen for Adam. As he tries to understand what really happened to Adam, Diane asks for an update. Wayne then says that even though he knows what happened, he can't explain why it happened. He adds that he won't be able to do anything without having access to the machine's data. Diane eventually suggests taking Adam back to the lab to see if there's someone that can help them. Wayne looks disappointed because he thinks Diane doesn't believe in him, but she says that she just wants Adam to return to his normal size. Suddenly, Wayne remembers that his original machine is in the lab security warehouse. He then tells Diane to come with him while Nick stays with Adam.
This'll have to be a covert operation.
Diane says she can't leave Adam, but Wayne mentions that they just have to try to make him take a nap. Following this, Wayne uses the bunny to play with Adam to get him tired and sleepy. He then leaves the house with Diane, while Nick stays back to watch Adam. Elsewhere, Hendrickson's assistants see an image of what Wayne targeted when he used the machine. Interestingly, the target has 3 eyes, and as they look confused, they call Hendrickson. When he arrives, he makes the image clearer and sees that it's actually a baby and a bunny. He then tells his assistants that he's going to Wayne's house to pay him a visit. He adds that he knew he saw a giant baby earlier when Wayne was at the lab. Meanwhile, Wayne and Diane get to the warehouse, but they see a lot of boxes there. As they look for Wayne's box, he suddenly remembers that he called Mandy to come to the house.
This could be very big.
Elsewhere, Mandy arrives at the house and rings the doorbell. This wakes Adam up, and Nick then goes to open the door. Surprisingly, he sees Mandy and asks what she's doing there. Mandy says she's there to babysit Adam, but Nick mentions that they no longer need her services. Mandy refuses to leave because she already agreed to babysit Adam, but Nick says it's not possible anymore. As Mandy asks what he means, Adam shows up at the door and she passes out. Meanwhile, Wayne finds the box containing his original machine, and he leaves the warehouse with it. Elsewhere, Mandy wakes up but starts shouting that there's a giant baby in the house. Nick then ties her up to a chair, after which he tells her that Adam is just a regular baby who can't hurt anymore. As Mandy tries to understand what happened, Adam dances in front of a TV. Surprisingly, the electromagnetic waves get absorbed into his body again, and he grows bigger and leaves the house. Nick sees this and immediately releases Mandy so she can help him look for his brother. Meanwhile, Adam disrupts a birthday party and scares everyone there away before he leaves. As he starts moving around the neighborhood, everyone gets scared.
Come on.
After a while, Hendrickson gets to the neighborhood and sees Adam. He looks shocked and immediately calls someone to help him contact the federal marshals because he needs something that can hold a large object. As Nick and Mandy get to the scene, Hendrickson holds them and says that they can't go anywhere. Back in the van, Wayne starts working on the machine to make it capable of shrinking Adam back to his normal size. As Diane takes a wrong shortcut, some cops chase the van, but Wayne mistakenly shrinks them with the machine machine. Wayne is shocked by this, but Diane tells him to unshrink the men. Wayne then does this with the machine, and he looks shocked to see that he can now shrink and unshrink things with his invention. As he and Diane get home, they see the damage in their house and look confused as to what happened. A U.S. Marshal named Brooks then tells them that their kids are perfectly safe, but that Adam needs to undergo some tests. Wayne doesn't sound happy to hear this, but Hendrickson doesn't seem to care. On the way to a lab, Nick tells the U.S. Marshals that he doesn't think it's safe to put Adam inside the big van. They don't seem to think there's a problem with that, but as they pass through a road with some high-voltage lines, the electromagnetic waves get absorbed into Adam's body. That night, Brooks gets permission to take Wayne and Diane to meet the kids after they safely get to the lab. Hendrickson doesn't agree with this, and he tells Brooks to arrest Wayne and Diane for theft and child endangerment. Wayne and Diane don't get this, but Sterling suddenly arrives at the house. Hendrickson then greets him and suggests firing Wayne so he can bring in the right experts to deal with the situation. As Wayne defends himself, Sterling fires Hendrickson, and he looks shocked. Sterling then asks what Wayne thinks they can do to unshrink the baby, and he starts talking about his ideas. Before he says much, Brooks tells Wayne that Adam has grown bigger and left the van.
If you'll excuse me.
Hendrickson looks pissed to have been fired by Sterling, and he calls Terrence immediately. As the search for Adam continues, Brooks learns that the baby has already put Nick and Mandy in his pocket and is heading for Las Vegas. Sterling then asks what Wayne thinks is responsible for the baby's continuous increase in size. Wayne initially says that he doesn't know, but as he realizes that Adam's van likely passed a road with high-voltage lines, he mentions that the electromagnetic force fields around electrical devices are making Adam grow bigger. Just then, Brooks informs Wayne that his son is now headed for Las Vegas, and everyone in the van looks shocked because the lights in the city might make Adam grow much bigger. Elsewhere, Hendrickson meets Terrence to tell him about his plans to defy Sterling and catch Adam. Terrence gives Hendrickson his full support and also agrees to get him help from the military.
I think they're out of our jurisdiction.
Shortly after, Wayne and the marshals block the road leading to Las Vegas while waiting for Adam to show up. Some news reporters also arrive at the scene, and after a while, Adam walks toward them with Nick and Mandy in his pocket. Since they need to get Adam to stand still for quite a while, Brooks suggests using ropes to bring him down, but Diane doesn't like this idea. Wayne then gets an idea and decides to use the bunny to get Adam to take a nap. As the bunny is brought to the scene with a helicopter, Wayne climbs it and goes toward Adam to sing a song for him. This gets Adam to be calm, but as Wayne says the word nap, he gets pissed and pushes the bunny away. Luckily, Wayne doesn't get injured, and he slowly falls down while holding on to Adam's clothes. Just then, Adam walks toward the city, and Wayne and the others look worried. Elsewhere, Hendrickson meets a captain named Meyerson, who says he won't go on a mission to take down a baby.
Boy, let's move it closer!
Hendrickson doesn't like this, but he says that he'll soon get proper approval for the mission. Meanwhile, Adam gets to the city, but people just keep staring at him. As Wayne wonders if there's anything that can lure Adam away from the lights in the city, he suggests taking an ice cream truck to meet his baby. Elsewhere, Hendrickson gets the right authorization and loads a big gun into a helicopter. Meyerson looks shocked by this, but Hendrickson says that it will only be used to shoot tranquilizer cartridges at Adam to knock him out. Meyerson doesn't like this idea, but Hendrickson says it will be a last resort. Shortly after, Wayne and the others get to the place where Adam is standing. He nearly falls down after getting tripped by a van, but Nick and Mandy quickly escape from his pocket to enter a nearby car. Unfortunately, Adam picks up the car because he thinks it's a toy, and he starts playing with it. Wayne and Diane look scared because Nick and Mandy might get hurt, but Adam eventually drops the car on a tall statue.
Toy car.
This puts Nick and Mandy in danger, but as the car falls, Adam catches it. Instead of dropping the car on the road, he just puts it inside his pocket. Brooks then uses the ice cream truck to lead Adam out of the city. Adam eventually catches up to the truck and realizes that the ice cream on top of it is not real. As Brooks tells Wayne and the others what happened, Sterling asks if there's anything else they can do. Before Wayne thinks of something, Diane tells him to use the machine to make her bigger so she can talk to Adam. Wayne is scared that he might not be able to shrink her back to her normal size, but Diane says she trusts him. Just then, he uses the machine to make her bigger. Meanwhile, Adam returns to the city and stops in front of the Hard Rock Cafe building. After removing the guitar sign at the scene, he starts playing with it, and Hendrickson arrives with a helicopter. As he then tries to shoot Adam, Meyerson moves the helicopter so that Hendrickson will miss the target. Hendrickson seems pissed by this, but as he takes another shot, the cartridge hits the guitar and causes an electrical spark that makes Adam start crying. As he looks sad, Hendrickson tries to shoot him again, but Diane grabs the helicopter and tells Meyerson to back off. He immediately agrees to do this, and Diane then goes to console Adam, who looks happy to see his mom.
Damn it!
After they hug each other, Wayne shrinks them back to their normal size. Hendrickson then shows up to commend them for what they did, but Diane seems angry and punches his face. Just then, Wayne remembers that Nick and Mandy were inside Adam's pocket. He also realizes that the machine must have shrinked them to be very small. After a while, he eventually finds them and sees Mandy thanking Nick for saving her life. She also leans into his body and says that she likes him, and this makes Nick happy. Following this, Wayne tells Diane that he thinks they should leave Nick and Mandy for a while before they unshrink them. After unknowingly blasting his baby with a laser that makes him grow bigger, Wayne starts thinking of how to fix the problem. Even though he initially doubts himself, Diane and Sterling support him, and he's eventually able to unshrink his kid. In this story, we learn that when things get tough, a little support and belief in oneself can help you pull through and find the solution you need.